All right, In Transit today takes a look at the future. What if your next Uber didn't just drive itself, but didn't even have a steering wheel? That's the direction the U.S. is heading. Regulators looking at letting fully autonomous robo-taxis hit the road with no pedals, no wheel, no human backup. It's all part of a push to fast-track self-driving technology. But while some see the future arriving, others are wondering if they'd even get in the car. Let's find out. Joann Muller's with us, transportation correspondent over at Axios. Joann, welcome back to the program. I love your work so much. It's great to talk to you again.
Well, thanks so much for having me, Elias.
So what are they doing here in the U.S.? There was a big announcement recently, right, when it comes to self-driving tech and U.S. regulations. In a nutshell, what are they doing here?
Well, what they're trying to do is remove some of the laws that currently exist that require all cars to have a steering wheel. Because in a robotaxi, obviously that's not required, needed anyways, and so it's a lot of extra expense, and it limits what these robotaxi companies can do, is how they design their cars. So every law in the United States assumes there's a driver. And in the future, that might not be the assumption anymore.
And what else changes? Once you're taking out the driver, what else can you do design-wise in a car that regulators would have to act on?
Well, what they're going to do, ideally, is design the car around the passenger. So imagine if you are not the driver anymore, you're not responsible for driving the car, you're going to sit back and relax, right? You might put your feet up, you might look at your email, you might, read a book, whatever, maybe take a nap. The idea is, let's make the passenger comfortable. Let them have their music and their climate preferences, their mood in the vehicle. That's the futuristic idea. There's also this other idea that robotaxis should be just like little shuttle buses. And in that case, you might have two rows facing each other. So you can, if you're with your family or with your friends, you could talk to each other, kind of like that London cab, perhaps, right? And
yeah, that's right.
There's different designs. It all depends. But right now, you have to design a car, no matter, what purpose it is. It has to have a steering wheel. And if there's no one sitting in the seat, that's just taking up space.
So let's talk about the players here, right? So, I've been in a Waymo when I've been traveling in the States, so I've tried that before. I'll just tell you, Joann, I have a Tesla Model Y, and I've got the full self-driving feature in my vehicle. It's a hardware 4 car as well, so it does a really good job. Who are the players now in the U.S.? How do you see it shaping up?
Well, you mentioned two of them right there. Waymo is actually clearly the fastest growing. Their technology is ahead. But they are currently, I think, in about 10 cities in the U.S. I believe they've announced they're coming to Canada soon. So that Waymo's business model is we're going to do urban robo-taxis. Tesla, as you mentioned, is looking at a different idea. They have personal cars that they are increasingly automating. It still has to be supervised, and I pray to God, Elias, that you are paying attention
I am.
when you use your full self-driving.
I am.
Good man.
I'm not that guy that was sleeping the other day, and I laugh sometimes because I know if I look away, I get that blue screen little beep beep that points out as well. But I'll say this: I'm more and more amazed, Joann. This is a true story. On Friday, I have a second kid coming. Okay, so we need to get one of those strollers with 2 seats. So I look on Facebook Marketplace and I find one. So I finish my show at noon, and I need to get by 1:00 over to this person to pick up this used stroller that I hopefully found a good deal on. Right? I get in my car. And I tell the car, I kid you not, here's my destination address. Before I get there, I need to stop at an ATM with this bank, the bank that I bank with. And I also want to stop for a quick lunch, and I'm going to embarrass myself in a minute. I want to stop at a McDonald's to quickly get lunch before 1:00. Root it out. Joann, it did the whole thing. It drove the whole thing. And I said to myself, oh my God, we're in the future.
We are in the future, but like we're in this little strange area right now where the human and the machine have to work together. And you have assured me that you're paying attention. Not everyone is. And I believe that that's where the danger is that as humans, we tend to trust this technology too much, right? And we are not yet at the full robot phase. And so it's very tricky right now, I believe. And you can only emphasize it again and again and again. These systems that you've described in your Tesla are assisted driving. Yes, it's doing the job for you, but ultimately, if you're in a crash, you are the one responsible, right? And so that is very, very important for your listeners to understand.
Do you think we're moving a little bit too fast then? Because, the way I've put it to other people is like, it's doing 99%. The last percent is always the hardest. So are we moving too fast then on this front?
Well, there's a great debate going, right? If 99% of the time we can avoid hitting someone and reducing the number of deaths, even if we cut the number of highway deaths in half. In the United States, we have 40,000 people a year who die in traffic accidents. If this technology saves half of them, but still kills some, are we better off? There are a lot of people who would say yes.
Yeah.
There are also people who would say no. We have to hold these robots to a higher standard. And it's just a very interesting debate, and it's going to play out over the next 5 to 10 years.
And
but you can take a robotaxi in the meantime in a lot of places and be very comfortable.
It's fascinating, right? Because, God forbid if someone dies in a robotaxi, right? Everyone will know about it. But if you avoid an accident and actually you get to keep on living because a robotaxi doesn't get into the accident, no one knows, right? You never know that you were saved thanks to autonomous vehicles, but you certainly will know. Your family will know. The media will know if someone dies in a robotaxi. Makes it all the more interesting how this will play out.
Absolutely. It's a really fascinating time right now.
Well, what's your timeline look like, Joann? Whether it's the regulatory front and development of technology, how do you see this playing out in the short to midterm?
Yeah. Well, what I see right now, certainly in the United States, right, is that there is suddenly a great fear that China is moving faster than the United States on this technology. And there are so many instances where the U.S. invented something wonderful and then didn't commercialize it fast enough, and China did, or someone else did. And so what I detect on both sides of the aisle in the United States is we want to really push this forward. And so that's why you see the regulatory moves that you saw. Now, interestingly, it's the Trump administration that is trying to start removing some of these hurdles that are current regulatory roadblocks. But Congress has yet to pass a law that would cover the behavior and the rules for self-driving cars across America. So what you have is sort of this patchwork of laws, and some states are more allow them, and some states are actively trying to ban them. Yeah. And so there's this idea, well, what we need is a federal law that covers everyone. I don't know. Nothing seems to happen in the U.S. Congress anymore. So I don't know if it will pass. I think it has its best shot this year due to some other highway-related funding deals that need to be approved. I have often said, when you ask me how soon will this happen, I am approaching retirement age, and I often say that when they take my driver's license away is about when this technology will be ready for anyone to use.
Well, the timing would be perfect in that instance.
Yeah, it would be perfect for me. People with no sight, imagine how much they want this to happen quickly.
Joann, listen, you're great. Thanks for coming on the show. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Joann Muller sits at the intersection of technology and transportation over at Axios.
Hello, Canada.
This is Bryan Adams Radio.
Hosted by Bryan Adams himself.
We'll play a few of mine, a ton of my favorites, and some must-hear behind-the-scenes stories from the world of rock and roll. One thing about doing rock and roll so long is you end up meeting a lot of the people that you admire. Sometimes you even get to work with them.
It's only love, and that's all.
Bryan Adams Radio.
I'm coming back to you.
Now available on the free iHeartRadio app.
Everybody, how are you tonight? Sounds great.